obviously be a part of this proceeding, but I appreciate it, I understand that, and we understand the profound grief, many are still feeling, and in terms of what I do, professionally and obviously personally, it has had its impact, and as it does with many of you. So we obviously, many of us, for the events that occurred in Christchurch, are deeply shocked, enormously sorrowful and in grief to the loss of so many innocent lives. And again, I want to offer my sincere condolences and deepest sympathies to the victims and families in Christchurch. The community there will need much support, as we do here as well, and the comfort in the weeks, months ahead. And I and the Commission stand in unity, solidarity, and in grief with them and the people of New Zealand, and with the Muslim and wider community here as well. And the Commission, at a meeting yesterday, we, through myself, passed a motion that sought to capture some of that grief, that moment of reflection, of honoring those who have lost their lives, and we have passed a motion that specifically referred to honoring, remembering the victims of the recent terror attack in Christchurch, New Zealand, and that I've spoken for the Commission as a whole and expressing its deep condolences to those affected. The Commission stands in solidarity and unity with the Muslim community and wider community in New Zealand and Australia, and remains resolutely committed to upholding the values of acceptance, respect, harmony, unity, and inclusion. And I also stated that the tragedy in Christchurch is another reminder to us all of the lesson that there is no place for racial or religious bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, or hatred in our society. I met with Muslim communities recently and offered my support and to hear from them, including attending and speaking at the public vigil in Melbourne on Monday. The terrible events in Christchurch is a stark reminder that we must all remain vigilant against the resurgence of far-right and extremist activity, and against those who seek to harm and pose a threat to our multicultural harmony. So, in the wake of the Christchurch tragedy, today I'm announcing a series of national consultations with the Muslim community in Australia about their experiences of hate, violence, and negative public commentary. I want to hear their voices, concerns, and their experiences, and we can act to do everything in our power to help prevent us having our own tragedy, such as those that occurred in Christchurch. Already in Victoria, I've heard concerns about the dangers of hate speech and the need for our community and elected leaders to act responsibly in preventing the spread of hate languages and fear rhetoric. It is important that I'm in touch with and to ensure that I'm hearing from Muslims across the country by listening and really listening. I and the Commission will be working towards practical measures to put forward to act to ensure that we protect our social harmony and a wonderful multicultural community, and to keep the Muslim community and the wider community safe from racial hatred and from racial violence. And I just want to detract a little bit just to refer and reflect on the statement that was put out yesterday by the Australian National Imams Council that referred specifically to the need and the call for unity, and to obviously to be united and be solid, and in supporting and being reflective about the need to ensure the protection of our multicultural community that we lived in. And I do applaud the National Imams Council for the maturity and for the message of solidarity and for harmony and reconciliation that has been issued yesterday. And as well as informing my work as the Race Discrimination Commissioner, this will also be an important contribution to in terms of the consultation we'll bring forward, the Commission's National Conversation on Human Rights, announced last December and led by our President. And out of these national conversations that we'll bring forward on human rights as a whole, The Commission intends to identify a reform agenda for the better protection of human rights in Australia. Today, we're here for this reason. The celebration of the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, of which Edmund has talked about, and the basis of which it was created. Since 1999, Australia has also celebrated this day as the Harmony Day. Although celebrating harmony and eliminating racial discrimination represent different sentiments in some ways, I believe there are two sides of the same coin. We cannot eradicate racism without fostering multiculturalism and social cohesion, and vice versa. So the Harmony Day is a celebration of the UN Convention for which it is named. And the convention enshrines the right that all human beings are equal before the law and in dignity and freedom, and without distinction to race, color, or national origin. The convention also promotes understanding, tolerance, and the building of an international community free from racial discrimination, segregation, and barriers, the very hallmark of the things that we value and cherish in the multicultural community. And importantly, today is also the Australian National Close the Gap Day, which marks a time for all Australians to come together and commit to achieving health equality for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. And we know that health outcomes and life expectancy in Indigenous communities are affected by many different factors, such as clean housing, educational opportunity, access to community-controlled primary health services, and a culturally safe workforce, issues about racism and trauma and healing. So Joan Oscar, our colleague in the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Social Justice Department and co-chair of the Close the Gap campaign, is out this morning at the Tarawa Aboriginal Medical Service hosting a community event and launching Close the Gap's annual report. And I arranged all this because we worked in solidarity as a team, as a commission, because there's always so much crosstalk. Racism, the need to ensure that we increase and protect the welfare of our Aboriginal citizens in this country, all the mandate of all the commissioners. So June is out there doing her part in this great endeavor in the human rights area. And this year this Close the Gap report adopts a strength-based focus by highlighting stories from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community-based health and well-being program from around Australia. And I'm particularly looking forward to the report that June will put out for the Wei Yani U Tangani Women's Voices Project. And this project has been an important and major undertaking by June and the team, and will give a much-needed voice to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women and girls in their needs. So listening and hearing voices is crucial to our work, and that's the reason why we will be stepping forward and taking a leadership role in this consultation with the Muslim community. So I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge all of you here today and to obviously recognize the wonderful work and truly wonderful work, because I've been to the field and I know the players that work in this wonderful grassroots community. And the work you do is the foundation that sets to protect the things we value. And it has enormous repercussion. It has enormous benefit to the things we stand for in the long run as a whole community. So thank you very much. And for your tireless work in the hours when no one is working, in those moments when no one is looking, and going beyond the call of duty and not obviously being paid enough for what you do on a community level. So I do appreciate what you do, and I thank you very much for that wonderful, wonderful contribution that you make. And I look forward to meeting many of you in this room that I've met before and those I've not met. So I believe that I'm very accessible. If not, let me know. It is our job to be there for you, to make ourselves open, to be there for your needs, for you to tell us the issues, the narratives, the stories, the difficulties, and the concerns. And again, this highlights what we'll be doing with the Muslim community in the next few weeks and months about trying to get and capture the essence of the issues that confronts the Muslim communities in specifically and communities right across generally. I'm not under any illusion that my job is easy, and I've had time to reflect on this in the last few days. It's a tough job. And I've said, well, you know, did I expect this in this early, stage of my career in this area? Probably not. But these are matters of not our own choosing. These are matters that occur, and we must be prepared to deal with it and take the responsibility of making sure we are able and in position to lead where it counts. And I'll tell you what the leadership is, what the consultation is important is this. We will lead, we'll put it forward, and we said we will do this. And we will lead, not in the front, we'll not lead behind. We will lead side by side with communities, and that's why the consultation is important. Because you will work with us, and you will lead us, and we will lead you. And we feel it's very important for us to understand how we can make this community better as a multicultural community, one that's much safer as well. So it's also, on the flip side, I'm pretty excited about the fact that we have this undertaking because I've seen the work you do and the excitement to know that you are there supporting us and working with us to produce the result that we need in this very, very crucial and important time. So we remain steadfast and we remain committed to the values we cherish, values of honor, respect, acceptance, inclusion, harmony, peace, and hope over fear and hate. These are the hallmark of a successful multicultural community. So we are again reminded of the lesson in this instance in paid for sadly by the loss of 50 innocent lives in Christchurch. There is no place for racial or religious bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, or hate in our community or anywhere. And I've started and will continue to promote the message that we must draw the line against racial and religious bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, and hate. We're doing that because it's convenient, it is socially or politically convenient. We do it because it is the right thing to do, and because it is an answer to harmony and to peace in our multicultural community. We will draw the line with ourselves, in our families, friends, colleagues, workplaces, organizations, associations we belong to, with leaders in corporate sectors, in our elected halls and powers, the political powers, elected leaders. What we do is we will hold ourselves, we will hold our families, we will hold our communities, we will hold our associations, and we will hold our parliaments also accountable for the things that we do and we don't do in this space about race, about prejudices, about bigotry. So thank you all. I'm here, you're here to also enjoy each other's company, not just listen to me. But these are momentous times, these are important times for us to reflect. And perhaps the need to reset some of those issues that we value, perhaps the values that we stand for, and if not, at least strengthen them. And this is a time for an opportunity for us to do that. And together, I know we will travel this journey together, and it will make this community more peaceful, inclusive, equitable, equal, and safer for us all. So thank you for being here again. But while we obviously enjoy Harmony Day and celebrate, we do it in the spirit, in the context of the tragedy of what's happened in Christchurch. And remember that as an important element of the need there for us to persevere, to work even harder, and perhaps to reflect the values more. And someone has said this is a time for love over hate. It's an emotional, personal term. It's a term that equally applies to any community, and not least in a multicultural community. So we must do this, and thank you for sharing time with me. Thank you for sharing time with each other. And it's okay, and I've said before, and I spoke at the vigil in Melbourne, it's okay to grieve, it's okay to shed the tears. And I've shed my moments of tears because there's sacredness in tears, because it speaks as a message of overwhelming grief, but also of unspeakable love. So thank you very much. Have a happy Harmony Day, and thank you for being with us today.